Giga. I might be able to pull it up here. 1 second. Actually, never mind. We're starting now. So, let's just get going. Come on. Yeah, both runners are off. And it'll just take 1 second here to get the clock synced. And yeah, there we go. Oh, not quite, never mind. Now we got it. Okay. So yeah, it looks like right off the bat, Giga has a teeny bit of a head start. Just getting through the very early game a little bit faster. And you're having a little bit of trouble there with the second ghost, but no big deal. Oh, miraculously, Giga opens the chest up from the side. That's always nice to see. Let's see how the players fare with the first few doubles in the game. Both players having no trouble at all picking those up. Oh, Andy does miss the second double. He goes a little bit too quick onto the first ghost there. Oh, geez, and he drops one of the ghosts. That's always a bad thing to see, because you have to wait for it to respawn and go find it, potentially on the other side of the room like it was there. And so these green big ghosts, they don't actually have a hitbox, so players can move around and manipulate them. So you can set up a few doubles in the game doing that. Like those two right there. And one later on. Now it takes a second for the key to be disturbed by the vacuum, but it does happen eventually. And yeah, so missing that double and dropping that ghost is going to cost Andy a bit of time, obviously. Now you see Giga's heading to the first portrait ghost of the game. These are a little more unique than the other ghosts, where they each have like a separate backstory and 100 health and drop pearls that are worth a bit of money. Yeah, so Lydia's room actually lags quite a bit, so it's better if you bring her up into the top corner. It just reduces as much lag as possible and makes it as easy as possible to suck her up. And this is the first boss ghost. And that's a strat I don't see very much of anymore, is pulling the ball close to Chauncey. Usually you just see people back up and pick it up with a proper angle, because things like this can happen and it can be a little inconsistent depending on where the ball goes. Oh geez, yeah, he's having a lot of trouble. Oh no. And yeah, if you're too close to a wall or an object, when you release the ball, instead of it shooting, it'll just drop out of your vacuum. And that's something you never want to see. So that let Andy catch up quite a lot, him fumbling with the ball there. Just like football. Fumbling. Sports. Yeah, so this is a bit of a unique boss ghost where you have to like maneuver the balls that Chauncey throws to catch them and then throw them back at him. And it looks like both players got that pretty good. And then you want to leave Chauncey's health above 50. So he does the same cycle, because the second like phase of Chauncey is a lot slower than the first. So you never want to hit that second phase. The second ball catch is really unique because it's one of the only times in the game where you really abuse invulnerability frames. So the ball hits you normally, but you can get hit by one of the horses and use the invulnerability frames to pick up that ball catch really easily. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like both players are pretty much neck and neck right here. Both having a little bit, or like a pretty big mistake early game, but losing the exact same amount of time, so it syncs them up again. This cutscene will play a few times during the game, and it's rather nice because it just gives the runners a little bit of a break in between each section. You know, some speed games can really mess with your hands and stuff. So this one's nice in that sense. Yeah, somehow... never mind. You'll notice that both players use the left door because the right door is actually 1 second slower. There's a bit of an animation you have to go through when you open it. So you always want to use the left side of the door if that's available to you. Oh, and it looks like Andy misses the double in here. It just makes the room go by way quicker when you get the double. Obviously turning the lights on faster and just being able to get it in and out as fast as possible. So that's going to put Giga back in the lead. Baller Room is the room that's coming up next, and it has probably the first big portion of RNG in the run, with the dancers showing their hearts early. People in the community call it early release. And yeah, Giga's handling these doubles quite nicely. This can be a real tricky room. Sometimes. Yeah, as you can see here, if the doubles go poorly, then you just get a mess, and you have to clean it up with your vacuum. And Giga does get early release, so hopefully Andy gets the same. So it is an RNG deciding a big portion. It's like 10 to 15 seconds. I can't remember exactly how much time the early release saves. Okay, but Andy doesn't get early release, so we'll have to see that. You'll see the second cycle here. Yeah, there it is. And so there's a poster on the wall when you move the wall back. And you can grab the poster off the wall before you move the wall back by just sucking at the wall and like moving in the right direction. You'll see it here on Auntie screen probably. According to Pharaoh, it's literally exactly 10 seconds. So that's on me. Oh, Andy just walked on top of the bucket. That's something you don't see every day. Yeah. That double in particular is a little difficult. Just because you have to rely on the purple ghost moving in the right direction, and then you have to spin at the right time. So it can be a little hard to get that one. Oh yeah, and as you can see, the poster did not come off. It's a little hard to notice without the sound, but yeah, so the poster didn't come off, so see, you have to rip the poster off, and it takes a little while. You can do that from the other side of the room as he was trying. So now both the players will soon be off to be collecting the 40 boos you need to complete this category. So here, it looks like Giga is going to get pretty decent RNG if the boo is in the drawer, and he is. So now he can manipulate the boo to come around and pull off the cloth after the boo gets sucked up, and he's able to perform a text skip. It just means, so when you suck up a boo, a little text box will come up, and it'll show it here. But if you pull in a cloth or go through a mouse hole before the text box shows up, but after you suck up the boo, that text box won't come up, and you won't have to save. Or the save prompt won't come up, at least. So, like, a pretty mediocre RNG here in the first 3 rooms. Yeah, see, and the first boo has a extremely long text box, so it is actually pretty important to get that first text skip off. But sometimes RNG just doesn't allow you to get the text skip. Like if the boo is underneath the tablecloth, for instance. And that's always a real annoyance. Yeah, and it looks like the boo has gone all the way across the room. So he had to walk all the way over to get him. That was pretty good, RNG. You always want to see the boo in the first set of chairs there. Because it's just fast. You see Giga going in as, or Giga going out as Annie's going in. Here, for some reason, the developers decided to stash a key inside the toilet. So that's sanitary. And every mirror in the game, if you check it with your camera, you'll get sent back to the foyer. Except for the mirror in the mirror room, which you'll see coming up. It's just little shortcuts you can use in the speedrun when you're really far away from your destination and the foyer is closer. You'll see people mirror warping a few times. Mirror warping or save quitting to get back to the foyer. And just like the doubles in the bathroom, these ones you like use damage abusing too, like you get hit on them by them on purpose to move them into a place where you can get an easy double. Otherwise, you sort of have to walk around a little bit to manipulate the ghosts into where you want them to get the double. Good RNG there. So you wanna. So when you open up a chest, you'll get a key or a medallion, and there's gonna be a bit of time before they get affected by the vacuum. So you always wanna, for that fire medallion there, you wanna release the boo first, and then open the chest so you don't accidentally move the medallion or suck up the medallion or anything while you're getting the boo, because it is important to suck up the boo before you get the medallion, so you can save quit and skip the medallion text. Yeah, and you can see Andy is having a little bit of trouble with these doubles as well, because the positioning can be a little awkward sometimes. Yeah, and you also getting the save quit. It's really, really bad if you mess up that save quit. Now this room here is a little tight because you're on the butler cycle. So you want to make sure you clear this room out before the butler finishes up his cycle. So you can open the chest and get through the door and catch, open the mouse hole and catch the butler cycle. Otherwise, the butler will go right back to the hallway. And you never want to see that, because that's a ton of time loss. There's a lot of things you don't want to see in this run. Oh, Giga's having a little bit of trouble with those chests. Yeah, the chests in this game can be a little bit finicky. I don't know exactly how they work, but I'm sure if you ask someone, they can tell you. It has something to do with like the hitbox and whether you're inside the chest or not. It can be annoying. So this room is pretty neat. You open up the chest in a certain order and you get these ghosts, and then you can set up for a nice quadra or triple there depending on if the fire hits that last ghost there. Kill it. And it's just a good time. And you get this boo because it's really fast and easy to clear. Oh, did Andy miss his butler cycle? You know, I wasn't paying too much attention to that side of the screen. Hopefully he didn't. But that's sort of what it's looking like right now. Yeah. Andy definitely missed his butler cycle. And this is the downfall to trying to do laundry room on the butler cycle, is you can miss it. And you never want to see that because it's a ton of time loss. But he is going to do a little bit of optimization, just grabbing this boo before just wasting time while he waits for the butler. Giga's going to pull Melody up to this desk, probably. But he did have a little bit of trouble. But you pull him up to the cabinet, And you just check the cabinet because if the boo is in there, it's really fast. And the boo wasn't there, so that's really lucky. Oh, most players would have opened the chest up while the boo just sort of roamed around, because most boos will sit around for a little bit waiting for Luigi to aggro onto him. But Giga just decides to play it safe, which is fair. Oh, geez, yeah. So that can happen if you wait too long to... Or if you don't wait long enough for the fire to burn off completely, then you can lose the triple like that. And they can become annoying to pick up. So that goes there. If you enter the room early and you shoot fire into the fridge before the ghost has a chance to spawn, you can actually get rid of the element and save a teeny bit of time. So Andy is fallen behind a little bit just because of that butler mishap. And we'll see. Yeah. Okay, so Giga is going to opt to not check under the table. And it was a good call. Because if the boo is under the table, it takes like 2 or 3 seconds to pull off the cloth off the table. So it was a good call by Giga to check the other place instead of the table. Because the boo wasn't even in the table. So he just did a gamble and it paid off there. And, yeah. Depending on your positioning, Mr. Bones can, spawn all over the room, like in the planter on that side. It's not going too bad, Andy. So here you can see Giga flashes the first ghost with a flashlight, and it stuns the ghost for a little bit, and it lets the second ghost clump up together with the first one, and then he flashes them both again, and was able to pick up a double there. Let's see how Giga handles Bogmire. You know, the thing about this game is that there's so many little things. There's so many little things. Like the big things, sure, they're time loss, but they're kind of easy to fix and easy to do most of the time. But it's the little mechanical things that can be real hard to nail down. Oh, 5 life. Hate to see that. Yeah, so Giga was real close to one cycling Bogmire there, but he just got pulled around a little too much and got off at 5 life, which is real unfortunate. In the immortal words of Foop Johnson, it is hella dumb. Yeah, here's another one of these. The cutscenes where the runner just sort of sits there and does nothing. Okay, so you really don't want the dog to move because it just wastes time. So you want to stand as close as possible while you let him jump at you. And yeah, so because he was up there, the ghost spawned right there instead of off to the side like it did for Giga. And that's normally where it spawns. I believe it just depends on Luigi's position, but who knows? I could probably be wrong. Oops. And yeah, Andy did a good job picking up that double there. Got hit, but it's not a big deal. Although he is looking kind of low for this Bogmire. So if anything goes wrong, it could spell catastrophe. Let's see how Andy handles the Bogmire. Time save. Yeah. Great. I didn't get to see it because my stream froze, but it looks like he probably one-cycled it. Considering he didn't lose any health, so he wasn't dragged around at all. According to Andy, he golded that split, so that's always nice. And you'll see Giga there. He shoots water up into the ceiling for seemingly no reason. Okay, he did 1-2 cycle it. Oh well, yeah, sorry, my stream froze, so I didn't get to see that part. Yeah, so he shoots water up there because there's a door that's covered in fire. So it extends a little bit down into the floor, so you can just grab that from the bottom. Good RNG there. Lets you suck up the ice ghost and the boo, or find the boo at the same time. And the boo almost escaped there. If you're in the motion of sucking up that cloth while you're trying to suck up the boo will actually usually get away with 0 health. So he was real lucky there that that didn't happen. Now this ghost can be deceptively difficult if it gets away on you. Yeah, like you saw there. Usually you can tell when a ghost is gonna get away, but with this one it just sort of happens. But again, if you practice enough, you'll pick it up easy. Oh, I'm getting scared there right at the very end. So Nana here, you want to go for that ball first that Giga picked up, because that one will go all the way to the other side of the room, whereas these ones will stay close to Nana. And they can be a little awkward to pick up because if you step on them, it makes you trip. And that always sucks. Oh. Spawning the fun money ghosts. Don't get to see that very often, but it's always funny when you do. And you know out of bounds run. Oh, he actually bonked on the boo there. And it's gonna get away. Yeah. That's real unfortunate. It can be little mistakes like that, like bonking. Always sucks for the runner. Oh jeez. And the jumping the gun a little bit there and stepping off the treadmill early before he has a chance to spawn the key. Yeah, as you can see there, that spot where you can pick up fire becomes a little hectic if you don't keep up with staring where they should spawn, because that'll stop them from spawning. So this room, players will do a little differently. Usually the doubles are the same, but when it comes to the triple, some players will use fire, some people will just suck up the grabber ghost. Let's see here what Giga does. He actually spawns, yeah, he spawns the Shy Guys a little late, so he's definitely gonna like to pick up that grabber ghost first. Oh, and he misses the double because, yeah, the green ghost was a little high there, so the angle is just really, really awkward for him. And good RNG there, but he did not manage to suck up the ice ghost. So hopefully he notices that. That's what I was talking about. Okay, yeah, so the Boo almost got away there with 0 health, but it did not, because he picked it up and fast enough, but it was because he was sucking up the tablecloth at the same time as he was trying to grab the Boo there. This part of the run sucks. Moonshot, if you miss the moon with that yellow ball, it's a ton of time loss, and you have to wait for another ball to spawn, and you have to watch the animation of it missing. Yeah, it just sucks. And for some reason, in the Japanese version, there just isn't music playing during this cutscene, but in the English version, there is music. Don't know why that happens. Having a little trouble with the star there. It's just better to pick it up, but he chooses to go on a little journey with it, which is fair and respectable. Oh yeah, so Giga does go for Boonswoggle. That's the name of this Boo. He'll go for Boonswoggle after Moonshot. Some players will go for it before Moonshot. It's not really that big of a deal because you go in and out the room, so it's just preference again. Yeah, and honestly, casually, it's just really hard to tell what you're supposed to do in that section of Moonshot. Let alone aim for it. So this room that Giga's in is a little tricky. You just have to get grabbed by one of the ghosts and line up the double and the triple. But the triple can be a little tricky because it's hard to line up the grabber ghosts. Like you see there. I don't even really know what happened there. It looks like the middle one just didn't go. Or didn't get shot on by the flashlight. Oh yeah, and the boost switched on him there. Which is always unfortunate. Just a little bit of waste of time. Let's see how Andy handles this triple. Yeah, so he's gonna elect to do the same thing where he sort of wraps around and just grabs the double. It's a really easy, consistent setup. And Annie is gonna look for Boonswoggle before going to Moonshot, which again is fair. It's not really a difference. Oh, and does he pick that up? Yes, he does. Yeah, that was right on the edge. Dude, no, I don't say with a straight face. You do not see my face. Yeah. And you'll see Andy there just picks it up nice and smooth like. Already picked up Boonswoggle, so you don't have to pick up Boonswoggle again. Giga does have a little bit of trouble with the twins. If you don't stand in the left corner, then the plane has like a really easy chance of hitting you, unfortunately. But it's not too big of a deal. Giga has a pretty large lead on Andy right now, so he can handle a few mistakes. That boo will dart real fast if you like auto lock or bonk onto anything. So that's real annoying. Yeah, Andy doing that double really nicely actually. And again, it's looking like the middle ghost just doesn't want to get shone on by the flashlight there. The fire aware. Oh, I probably missed it, I'm sorry. There's a few different things you can do with fire. You can, there's like a strat called R pumping just to keep boos in place, so you spray fire when you do that. Other than that, he could have just been joshing around with the fire. Oh, sorry, not specifically with fire. It's just yeah, it's just with the L trigger in general. You just hold down the L trigger and then you pump the R trigger every 10 health, and it'll keep a boo cackling in place, and for 15 cackles before the boo will bolt. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the element or their lack of that's in your vacuum at the time. Excuse me. Giga's in the most intense part of the run right now, where you sit and mash for a minute and a half. Sway Ghost. Losing a little time. Oh yeah, and see, he got clipped by the plane there. Yeah, so a boo will make 15 cackles, and depending on how well you control the boo, it can double cackle and so forth. But it'll cackle for 15 times, and then you can no longer keep it in place, and it will move. You can continue to suck the health off, but it will still just run away after the 15 cackles. It's just part of the Boo AI. And Giga here Giga here is just making sure he picks up ice on the way up to the safari room, because you need ice for that room. And if you don't get ice, you have to go back and get ice. Giga is 3-ish minutes ahead. I am not counting exactly. But it's a decent chunk of time. But, you know, Andy could catch up depending on how bad his Colossus is. And he does make a little bit of a mishap there, too, so... It's still anybody's game so far. Which is, yeah, this game is deceptively RNG heavy. Like, you wouldn't really think so, just going from room to room, but the boos make it really, really RNG heavy. And of course, there's just little things that can save or lose you time. Yeah, pray for the 5-cycle Colossus so that the run can get closer. It's pretty RNG heavy. Like, there's the boos, there's early release, there's there's ghost suck-ups in general. Like, there's 2 types of general ghost suck-ups. It can do like a little spinning animation that's slow, where you can just suck it up right away. And there is actually supposed to be music playing now too in the English version, but in the Japanese version there just isn't. So a good ice placement, but he does accidentally mess with the boo up. At least he gets it to pop eventually. I don't know whose idea it was to have the boo pop on a unicorn head. But, yeah, that's how it works. Oh, geez, he, definitely misses the angle a little bit there. So this might be the 5-cycle Colossus you prayed for, Foop Johnson. Actually, did he really only have 4 boos left over? Okay, that's, way less than I thought he would have. So at least he handled that first cycle pretty nicely, despite the bad manipulation. Oh, shooting his ice off a little early there. Yeah, I'm... yeah, so that did give Andy a little bit of time to catch up, but obviously Giga is still ahead. Let's see. No worries, it can be a little difficult. Wait, oh geez, yeah, and he forgot the ice, like I mentioned earlier. You never want to see that, because now he has to go all the way over to the the ice bucket here, and perform the ice bucket challenge so he can get the ice element. Yeah. Again, just sitting through this nice little cutscene. Yeah. Oh, Andy's having a little bit of trouble spawning the first ghost there, but he does get it eventually. So Giga's just making his way to the balcony so he can set off the blackout. Lots of walking in Area 4. Up and down and up and down. It's definitely the most spread out area in the game. Switch to sidestep mode. Right there. Just so he can maneuver through the hordes of ghosts that attack you viciously during the blackout. If done correctly, he will not spawn a single one of them, which is always nice. But if done incorrectly, you can get scared lots of times. Yeah, so there's one. That one you can just avoid easily. And it's also not blackout specific. But oh well. Mirror warping here just because it's faster to make it down to the balcony or the foyer. And just switching out of sidestep mode. So he can move again normally in the dark rooms. Bit of an awkward ice spawn. He could have picked that up on the way back. Let's see. This angle looks a little better. Let's see how he handles this though. Oh, that was not bad. Hopefully it's just those two ghosts left over and he can get this slowish one cycle. Oh, no, there was 3 there anyways. Yeah. Yeah. I just realized this now, but apparently if you suck up a frozen boo, it gives you a full ice element back. So that's interesting. So high-level players will elect to go for a boo in that room right there, breaker room boo, but it's extremely difficult to one cycle because it has 200 health and you can usually only get off 150 within the 15 cackles because it's 10 per cackle. But if you do it correctly, then you can suck off more health, like the full 200. Yeah, so now Andy's just sitting within the cutscene, waiting. Chat's cracking me up tonight. Losing that boo is always a hassle, because it'll probably respawn at full health when he save quits next. Oh my god. Okay, Oh, I'm glad that's not me then, or just me. I thought the stream was frozen on my end, but if it's everybody, that's better. Yeah, so if you heard that right there, that boo cackle, that means that he's re-hidden in either the cellar room or Weston room. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, so this is another room that runners can do a little bit differently. They can set up doubles, singles for the toy soldiers. I'm sure if you try hard enough, you can get a triple, but most people don't do that or try to. And Giga gets smacked in the face and destroyed and has to recapture that blue ghost, which is the important one that gives you pearls. Yeah, I haven't watched the task in a really long time. The task was done by Tasmello a few years back. I want to say it's 4 or 5 years back, 3 or 4 years back. I think it's 52-19 or something. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. I think it's on his YouTube channel. Tasmello. Good guy. Check him out. So this Grimly here, he can give you a bit of trouble because it can take upwards of 10 seconds for him to show you his heart, but both players got it pretty much instantly, so that's always nice to see. And again, you only need 40 boos to clear this category because that's how many boos King Boo requires to get in to his final room. Oh, and Giga getting curd stomped by that mace and losing the green ghost. More things I don't know. Apparently the longest time for him to show his heart is 47 seconds. Grimly that is, sorry. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, well, Andy... Oh, probably shouldn't have said that. Andy is going for the breaker room boo and losing it. You don't see that often. Going for it, not losing it. Well, actually, you see both pretty often. Giga here is having a little bit of a hard time finding the boo in this room. Looks like he's doing an okay job. Oh no. Yeah, so right at the end there you hear him double cackle a couple times. So he just loses him before he can finish sucking him up. And that's the worst thing you ever want in your run is the boo going outside the right of that room, and then going into the left. Yeah, that's just really bad. You spend so much time chasing this boo down. At least say you can save quit after and go down to the foyer, so it's not that big of a deal. But it can be bad. And is a big waste of time. I hope they let me do this again. Yeah, I think Andy is making his way to the toy soldiers now. Whereas Giga is probably going to go for probably gonna go for this boo again here that he lost. You can manipulate them to a like a little bit. Oh, he loses it again. You never want to see that. So hopefully this goes into Western Room. Yeah, so now he'll just pick this up again in Western Room. He'll hide again in Western Room, and then he can pick it up while he's looking for Western Boo. This is a bit of a unique room. Kind of like the treadmill room, where you don't actually have to clear the room to obtain the key hidden in it. But unlike the treadmill key, this key is necessary to beat the game. Whereas the treadmill key is just way faster than not getting the treadmill key. Now, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so most players will just burn the ghosts that are on the rooftop there, because it can be really awkward getting all of their masks off and shining all of them with a flashlight. And for Giga, this room can be extremely dangerous in English because the spikes will deal 40 damage instead of just 20 because English is double damage. But in Japanese, it's whatever. You just have to watch out when you're playing English. On Hidden Mansion, that is. Yeah, this boo's giving them a little trouble to find. I know I do. Yeah, Weston is clearly the best portrait ghost, but his boo is awful. And you can see here that, yeah, he just double cackled so many times. He's definitely getting away. And by so many times, I mean literally once. But, and then you can just save quit here. And, you know, bring him back to the foyer. And then starts the upward trek to Van Gogh, the half French, half Japanese ghost that lives in the attic. Giga making a little bit of a room mistake there and then catching himself on one of the tables. If you're not actually paying attention, that can happen a lot. Opting to pick up fire there, which is a little slow because this candle right here that he just walked by also gives you fire. So you don't really have to go off route like that. And he doesn't even use the fire coming out of that door. When you come out of when you go from a light room to a dark room, Luigi will bring out his flashlight, and if you do L pump and shoot out like a fireball, you can cancel the flashlight animation and just keep walking. So most of these triples are pretty easy to get since they're lined up, but the grabber ghosts, the fourth triple, the grabber ghosts are very annoying. Because their hitboxes are so spread out. Sorry, I'm like hang it while I'm trying to speak. And yeah, see how he just missed the middle one there? Hey man, okay. It's late. Yeah, you can do that lots of places in the run. This triple can also be a little awkward just because their hitboxes are so big. Yeah, he just missed one right there. And hopefully he doesn't get hit by this mushroom. But I guess a banana is just as... Oh, I guess a banana into a mushroom is just as worse. Just as bad. And now he's just punishing himself. Yeah, so if you get hit by a mushroom, you become unable to suck up ghosts and extremely small and take a little bit of damage and lose some money. They suck. And it looks like Andy has decided to clear this room here, even though you don't really need to. Yeah, I think at that point he was just thinking, what, it doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want during the mushroom animation. So this Spoo needs a 2-cycle because 300 health is too much to suck up in 1 cycle. And it'll just, there's nowhere else it can go, it'll just automatically go back into Van Gorb room. So this does look like a pretty clean 2-cycle, although it did double cackle there, and there, and there, and there. So he loses it. But at least he didn't 5-cycle it, right? And he's having a little bit of trouble finding Weston Boo. And let's see how he deals with this. Yeah, I believe it did double cackle there once, but it's really hard to tell with the audio. And he loses it. So, like, I guess one upside of clearing this room is that if you do lose Weston Boo, you can actually finish the Boo off in this room, since you can't finish Boos off in dark rooms. So, if he knows he's going to lose Weston Boo, then this is a bit of a time save, rather than chasing it halfway across the country. And yeah, so this is the marker that I was talking about. If you do not have 40 Boos, then King Boo will be here and will yell at you and send you back to the foyer. But if you did suck up 40 of his brethren, then he will be here waiting for you. Yeah. But like, if you miss step 2, you can just drop a Boo. It doesn't really have to do with cackles. It's hard to tell when it comes to it's hard to tell when there's no sound. So this is the last boss in the game. This is King Boo wearing a Bowser meat suit. Enjoy. On this first cycle, Bowser will actually have a invisible wall in front of his face, so you have to move off to the side a little bit to hit him. With his spike balls that he throws at you. So yeah, you'll see he opts to just go down and to the left a little bit, or a lot, but you can actually just get him from the top line right there. So ideally for a King Boo 2 cycle, you want the Boo's health to be under 250 just to make it as easy as possible for you. But a good player can get off at least 200, like maximum 275, I believe, before King Boo will go back to Bowser. So this is probably not going to be a 2 cycle, and yeah, Giga's just going to let him go back because Bowser will enter like a third phase where his head goes on backwards and he does this really long running animation. So this could be a decent time. Oh geez, King Boo almost got away there with 0 health, but he does end up getting a nice fast 3 cycle. And he is done. It's just done. Oh wow, his volume is extremely loud. And I'm not sure exactly how long it is from I'm not sure exactly how loud or how long it takes from the end of from the end of this Van Gore Boo setup, but it takes a little bit of time to get to King Boo. I don't know what I'm doing. That sentence. So Andy's probably gonna see like a 1-0, no, like a 110 or a 111 here with a 3 cycle. Yeah, Giga can. I'm gonna see if I can get him in here for a chat.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am pretty good. So how do you feel about that run?
It was...
Yeah.
It was kind of sloppy all around. I was excited to PB up until that Boo lost this, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, what's your PB?
It's like... What is it? It's like a 104.30 something. It could be a lot better. I just need to actually put in the hours.
Yeah, fair enough. And like...
My summer best is like 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
45 seconds.
Fair enough. This game just requires a lot of dedication and practice.
And good RNG.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta have good
lots
RNG.
and lots and lots of good RNG. Yeah. So, is there anything you wanted to like say or talk about the run?
It was a good race. I played a little bit sloppy, but I've been up for a really long time today, so I'm fine with that. I spent 9 hours in a car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, how can you be up?
Well, I have to do this, and then I don't have to be up anymore. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, 9 hours in a car sounds pretty awful. So you and Andy, at the end of Area 1, you were literally frame perfect together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But right away you established a bit of a lead, and then you just took it from there. Let's see how Andy does on the Bowser. How long have you been running this game?
When did I do my first run? It was probably, I think there was a big Luigi's Mansion community race when after Iwata died. I think that was my first run.
After what died?
After Satoru Iwata, the president of Nintendo.
Oh, right.
After he died, there was like a 15-person LM race. I don't remember how big it was. I think that was my first
I know
one.
exactly which race you're talking about. Yeah, I think I was in that.
Although I had long periods of like not touching the game at all, so
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I guess it's been a few years, just off and on.
And did you look into any like updated strats at all for this run, or did you sort of know what to do already?
I hope I know what to do already.
Well, no, no, just
no, I haven't been like paying too close attention. I've been kind of busy last couple of weeks. I'd like to get some good practice in for the next match, especially since that's like, I think there's no races this week because of GDQ.
Yeah, so yeah, this was actually the last. Yeah, this is the last race for this tournament this week. You'll be seeing more next week after GDQ.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get Andy. Oh, there he is. Andy, hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing alright.
How,
My run was pretty bad, so I ended up just kind of messing around after a while.
Yeah, I noticed you went for the 41 boost swag.
Yeah, so okay, I got Breaker, and I forgot about it by the time I was at Van Gore, so I just kind of started going for Van Gore Boo.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, 41 boost happened.
Is there anything you wanted to say about the run? Or a race?
I can't believe I lost the run to RNG.
Yeah, that's honestly fair.
Yeah. I mean, I did have bad RNG in some of the early areas, but that's not why the run died.
No. Yeah, just lots of practice. I noticed you've been streaming a lot recently. You should go follow both of these people. Giga, what's your Twitch?
Giga _7K. Just add a little underscore and the 7K because
Oh right,
it's a
yeah.
very common
I think I
name.
saw that in chat. Yeah, and then AndieTheBirb. I'm pretty sure it's word for word at Twitch. So you should definitely go follow them. Yeah.
I do think there is a command for that too.
Is there anything either?
It's not that.
There.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know there was a command for that. So is there anything either of you wanted to say? Anything else you guys wanted to say?
Just good run, good race.
Yeah, you too.
And too bad about that RNG.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Thanks for popping out tonight, and I guess we'll see you next week again.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.